So let's start out with talking a little bit about what the responsibilities are of a bass player in a band situation. There are two main responsibilities that you have. One is of rhythmic nature and the other
is of harmonic nature.
And that means notes. And finding the notes on the UBass or any bass is very straightforward. And we're going to tell you the basics about this because you may encounter a chord chart or you may be in a band and somebody says, hey, play a D minor or an E flat major or an F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Now, let me tell you that even if you don't know what all these other things after the letter mean, you can be very helpful and functional in a band. Of course, you want to eventually learn all these things, but as a good start, you want to find your letter names. And let's talk about the musical alphabet because that's where it really all starts. The musical alphabet is the first 7 letters of the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's it. And then it repeats. Let me play you those notes on my UBass here. What's nice is I happen to have an open A string. Open string is a string where I don't use any fretting with my left hand. So here's my open A string. What are the other open strings? I got a low E.
Yep.
I got an A. I got a D. And I got a G. So those are the open strings. Now you already know 4 notes. That's a pretty good start. But as I was saying, the musical alphabet forms the foundation. So I'm going to play you the musical alphabet up the A string. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. One more time. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. I can play the ascending, meaning up or down. A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. You may have noticed that sometimes I was using 2 frets to get from one note to the other, and sometimes like from A to B. But sometimes I was only using 1 fret. What's up with that, Magnus?
Yeah, it's because of between some of the notes you have a half step and sometimes you have a whole step. If you think of a piano, you know you have the white keys and you have the black keys. So what you played first was actually the white keys.
A to B, they're both white keys, right? But B to C are also white keys.
Yeah, there are. But in between those, there are no black key.
Yes.
So
the piano is a wonderful visual representation of what's happening there because between B and C and
E and F,
there is no other half step. That's the shortest distance I can go. When Magnus is talking about whole steps and half steps, for us on the bass, that means 2 frets, whole step, and half step is the shortest distance that I can go with a fretted bass. So, but what about all these other names, the other notes in between? There were a whole bunch that I didn't play. What's up with those? How do I get to those, Magnus?
Yeah. You could either put a sharp, and then if you put a sharp there, you get A sharp.
So sharp means going up.
Yes.
You can imagine like a sharp pencil, something pointing, it gets higher. What's the opposite of it?
The opposite is a flat. So if you have the B there and you put a flat, a B, it turns into B flat.
Now this really, flat you can think of like flat feet, right? They go down to the floor. So flat makes it lower, whatever the note, starting note is, and sharp makes it higher by, again, a half a step, otherwise known as 1 fret. And as you noticed, if I go in this direction, notes get higher, and if I go in that direction, notes get lower. So let's do an exercise where we go up the entire A string, and we're using sharps for all the notes in between, because you've noticed these note names, notes have more than one name, right? I can call this one A sharp, or I can call it B flat, depending on the context, the musical context. And we can just demonstrate that going up the A string using sharps. Want to take that part? And I do the opposite.
Yeah, I can try.
Go for it.
So we have an A, open A here, and then we have A sharp, B, C.
Nothing in between, right?
Yeah. C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. No, nothing in between. F sharp, G, G sharp, and finally an A.
And I go down using flats. A flat, G, G flat, F, E, E flat, D flat, C, B, B flat, and A. So if you look at your chord chart, and the chord chart says D minor, or F sharp minor 7 flat 5, or D sharp minor, whatever comes after the letter name, there's lots you can do with that. But if that information is just something you don't know about yet, don't even worry about it. Focus on the downbeat, meaning the heavy beat in the bar, being that letter name. And now you have the tools to find them. Now, another shortcut to finding your note names is to find your note names in the lower area here. And I invite you, we've given you the tools to figure out how to find your note names. Why don't you take a piece of paper and write them all out, all in between these two dots. That's a very good exercise for you to do rather than for us to show you, because if you do it yourself, you're going to remember it. And if you do that, you will also learn that, hey, you got these dots, right? These dots are like signposts, milestones, markers. They help you find your way. And a very good way to approach learning the fretboard is to just learn the dots. You know, you already know your open strings, E, A, D, G. You can learn G, C, F, B flat or A sharp, right? And then A, D, G, C. You can learn all these dots, and then in the heat of the moment, when you look at the chord chart and you need all those, find all these letters, then you have some guideposts so that you don't always have to start counting from the lowest, or you might not know yet quite where to start. So it's a good way to familiarize yourself with the fretboard.
Yeah.